All right, my friends, welcome to episode 309 of Prof and Dev Play Games. Subtitle: Anthony gets screwed on Metroid Dread, and Larry almost gets screwed. I am at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. He is at Summer Speak on Twitter. How's your weekend been?
It's been fine. Beyond not getting Dread when I should have had it, but it's fine. I had to do errands yesterday, normal every couple week errands. Uh, kind of got screwed again in a different way because randomly one of the highways in our area, the one that gets me easiest for me to get north part of Seattle, was just closed.
Oh, dang.
I'm sure if I had checked something, it's a planned maintenance type thing, but it was like,
Mm-hmm.
well, abort all of the errands I was doing in North Seattle. Because I
Yeah,
was on the road, it was the tunnel that they replaced with. The tunnel was closed. And I just was driving down the road towards the tunnel, and you just kind of keep getting merged over a lane, and then it's like, no, exit into the exiting before the tunnel, and I was like, well, shit. Okay, guess I'm not doing that. Well, I'll turn around the other way, just go do the other errands I had in this part of town, and then go home.
yeah.
But yeah, so that was I guess things didn't work out this weekend how I expected them to, but it was still a fine weekend.
Cool. Unfortunately, you didn't get Dread due
Nope.
to some shipping logistic issues.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it due to some banking issues, but I went to Target and said, fuck that. I'm going to play it for the podcast.
Well, I appreciate you playing it a little bit for the podcast. I would like to play it a little for the podcast.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, definitely next week. Maybe we'll have a beat by next week. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. You will, despite getting it after me, will certainly beat it before I do. My goal is to beat it before we do Game of the Year.
Okay.
And then I will have beaten 2 games this year, Kina and Metroid Dread. I feel like that's probably all that I've beaten. That is not a replay. Anyway, Metroid Dread. So, okay. The Metroid to Return to Samus, or Samus Returns, on the 3DS had some cool mechanics, the counter system and like really beautifully designed environments, but I found that the controls were cramped. And I know not
Correct.
everyone does. Maybe you did too. Okay, that's
I
good.
did it, and it hurt my hands after playing it for a while.
But you persevered.
I persevered and I beat it, but still, yes, it was giving me what I would call the claw kind of feeling.
Yeah.
My like fingers just jammed in a weird way. It's the 3DS problem. I'll be honest.
Yes, it was the problem of the console, not the game.
Yeah.
But it was a barrier for me to get in there. But having it on the Switch, I've only played handheld so far. I'm looking forward to playing with the Pro controller. But the crampiness is not there. Still, you've got the same kind of controls, holding left bumper and then aiming with right stick and then shooting with Y and like 2 or 3 buttons per some moves.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot to kind of wrap your head around, but it's not cramped and it feels fine there. The game looks fucking gorgeous, dude. And I'm still, again, just playing on the small screen, but the way that they've mixed cutscenes with 2D side scrolling and then also kind of over the shoulder like action in some areas, like it's like over the shoulder, aim with your arm cannon to hit this it was like a target of some sort to open the door, and that's over your shoulder. So you pivot from the 2D side scrolling to the over the shoulder to complete that, and then you're running away from this fucking Emmy that are fucking freaky when they catch you, man. You have this I don't know if you maybe have heard about the timing windows for the parries for the Emmys specifically.
For the Emmys, I have heard that yes, there is that it's odd. I've heard that.
It is. It changes every time. So it's never consistent. So you can't time it. You can get lucky. You can parry them, and you feel like a badass when you do. But it's for all the other enemies, the parry window is consistent, so you're able to time it.
Yeah.
Even though they vary from enemy to enemy. If you see a certain enemy type, you're like, okay, this one's gonna, I can parry it after a second or whatever. This one, it's never consistent, and it's when it grabs you. I think you get if I remember correctly, you get 2 times to parry. It flashes twice, and then you're just fucking dead. So it kind of adds to the dread of the whole experience. But man, the environmental design. I'm only 45 minutes in. the environmental design is gorgeous. I can't imagine what Super Metroid would look like in this style. It looks pretty on the screen. And then there have been just a number of cutscenes in the first 45 minutes where you're able to see, quote unquote, the power of the Switch. But like thinking about a 2D Metroid mixed with some 3D elements is pretty cool. I believe this is a direct sequel to Fusion. Did you play Fusion? Okay.
I mean, I've played Fusion a long time ago. Not
okay.
Geez, what Fusion was? GBA?
2000? Yeah, 2000 maybe.
Yeah, I played it in college. I'm pretty
2001,
sure.
something like that. So the idea that at the end Samus fuses with this whatever entity. Yeah. So it recaps at the beginning. So it's like a, last time on Metroid or whatever. So you get enough of the story there to like, I'd never played Fusion, but by hearing that or reading that or whatever, I understood enough of what happened and how this is a sequel to that game. And then you just off to the races. And it's one thing that I heard on a podcast about the game was that the power-up system was quick. Like you got new stuff more quickly than in previous games, which gives you less time to like learn the last tool you got before the new tool. And there was, what the fuck did I get? Oh, it was like an Omega cannon. So I'm just like running away from the Emmys, using my regular arm cannon and whatever else. And then I get this Omega cannon, which I can use to destroy an Emmy. And I was like, whoa, that was quick. Like I would expect to have this happen later where I'm getting chased for a while, an hour or two or whatever. And then I finally get this thing that I could defeat this big monster, but it gave it to you early and you could defeat this monster and then it's gone.
Yeah. I've heard that's a limited use thing. So you get them right throughout the game.
Exactly. It's limited use, but also the fact that it was so early, like there was this threat and you can't defeat this enemy. You just got to fucking run. But then you get a tool that you can defeat them with. You're like, yes, I'm super powered. I can defeat this threat finally because that's how this works. You get an upgrade and now you're Nope, it's gone. Ooh, shit. That makes it even scarier.
You're like, oh God.
I had the power to destroy this enemy and now I don't. I think that the enemy design so far is very reminiscent of Samus Returns. So it's kind of, it's so far very similar. I think the number of bosses is similar as well, from what I've heard, but it's just the way it looks is so good. The way that the animations looks so good. The traversal is so smooth. Samus is jumping, running, sliding, ledge grabbing, even aiming the arm cannon, whatever. It's all so smooth, and it did not feel smooth to me on the 3DS. And it's just like
it wasn't at all.
Yeah, it makes me feel so happy, and it's fucking fun as shit to play, man. Yeah. I wish I had more time to play it. I've only played, like I said, 45 minutes, but I've gotten to 2 or 3 save points, and then Adam, which was from Other M, I think.
And Fusion.
And Fusion, okay.
Kind of in Fusion.
But he was maligned from Other M, I think, right?
Like Other M is maligned in general as being like, honestly, almost a franchise killer in some ways.
But the story was that Samus couldn't do anything until Adam gave her permission, right?
Correct.
Okay. So he's in this. I don't know. It's very computerized. Like it's AI, I guess. Maybe
it's an AI. That's the whole thing with Fusion. There's the Adam AI, I'm pretty sure, if I remember right. Other M came out later and was like, let's do a story about who Adam is.
Let's not.
Yeah, let's not. Like, we can. I'm curious about certain parts of Dread because, I mean, I've read a couple reviews and stuff. Nothing to do any crazy spoilers or anything. Just more that the fact that they're like, this is more akin to the earlier Metroids, the other 2D Metroids, of being narrative sparse in some ways. Like, there's story going on, but it's not being thrown to the forefront, where Other M was like, here's cutscene after cutscene. Enjoy. Like,
oh, man.
Which I don't think the Metroid games historically have done very well in that regard, I should say. Like, the setup of the world, the systems around it, the way the game plays, it's not really a heavy-handed narrative type of franchise. But
yeah, so the environmental storytelling is the thing.
yes,
At least with Super Metroid.
yeah.
But it's been talky so far. Like, I'm surprised how talky it is. And I was, just as an aside, I think this is from Fusion, but super cool to hear that Samus Aran is pro-vaccine. Very excited to see that. So I don't know. It's gorgeous, smooth, and super quick so far. Like, I've already gotten like 2 or 3 save points. Got a few upgrades already. Things just seem to be like, I seem to be finding things quickly, which kind of adds to like the dopamine hit. Uncovering that map and whatever else. Yeah. So the music so far has been, I don't know, not super memorable, but maybe some music later on will be. But yeah, that's kind of my report on Metroid Dread. Except for the big T on the front for teen. I was like, yep, definitely not playing this with my daughter.
Yeah. The only video I've watched of it is I watched Digital Foundry's tech review of it, and they pretty much summed up everything you're saying. They're like, this is the best looking Switch game. In so many ways, and the fact that it runs at 60 frames per second on the Switch. And they're like, it's noticeable because it's responsive. The animation, like you said, the animation system has seen such a huge upgrade. So like they were showing off Samus like running at just like a small ledge. So, and just watch it, and then they slowed it down so you could watch the animation actually like do the this will be a technical term, inverse kinematics of how she's placing her feet to like traverse up one step. And so it's just fluid, a complete fluid movement. And they were showing that like that just extends through the entire animation system to make it feel really good.
Yeah, that's good to hear, because I haven't looked into the text, or the tech specs, but I was like, this feels like it's 60.
Yeah.
It feels that buttery smooth.
And on TV, it's so it's native 720 on handheld. Like it actually is native to the screen.
Awesome.
On TV, it's 1600 by 900, which is really high for a Switch game. On an output to keep 60 as well.
Right.
Yeah, and they didn't find any noticeable drops through their playthrough of the game. So, yeah, their tech review was just like, this thing's great. They also spun it off to being like, what does this look like on the OLED Switch? Incredible.
Yeah, dude, the reviews of the OLED Switch, because I play handheld so much, I'm probably going to need to get one of those eventually.
Yeah, no, they talk about it. I'm like, oh, is this game going to convince me that to get an OLED Switch just because of how people are talking about how just like the colors and that screen and me an OLED, so it just pops so much more and you get really blacks, and of course this game pairs with it well in that way. So you're just like, son of a bitch. I don't.
That's how I feel too. I'm like, I just bought a Switch 2 years ago, the upgraded battery one. Like, and I'm getting a Steam Deck. Like, I don't think I need a new Switch, but that is, like someone had said, this is, they've been playing handheld for a long time. They were there when the OLED Vita came out, which I thought was amazing. They're like, this OLED Switch is the best handheld screen that has ever been made. Damn. And plus, it's, with the bezel, it's a little bit bigger.
It's a little bit bigger. Digital Foundry went into all the like, just the surrounding tech of it, and just the feel, and they're like, it feels like a very premium device now.
Oh my god, that's
like it just
cool.
Solid, like the way the kickstand all works now, how it feels. They're just like the whole thing just feels like premium, as opposed to like the Switch kind of still felt a little toy-like some ways.
Yes, totally.
The Joy-Cons anchor into it much more tightly, so there's not as much wiggle there. All sorts of little things that I'm just like, fuck, I don't need this.
Yep, exactly. I have the thing that plays the games. I don't need the new thing that plays it a little bit better. Yeah. In fact, it doesn't play it better. It just looks better. But there's enough enhancements that's like, how much could I get for my Switch?
That's the thing. I'm like, what is the trade-in value for a for a Switch right now? And mine's the Mario one, so that's the...
Oh, you have the garbage red one. Get rid of it, man.
Well, I do, but I mean, I'm actually trying to look on like GameStop for trade-in now, and I'm like, they'll take trade-in valued up to $220 on a regular Switch of store credit. So you could do $220, and then you just have to spend the extra $130 to get your OLED. Not a bad deal.
That's a pretty fucking good deal, gotta say.
Yeah, maybe. Well, that's all hypothetical in the fact if you could actually get an OLED Switch. Let's be honest.
It's super hypothetical because we can't.
No, not at all. I was at Target on Saturday. If my Amazon order hadn't actually got confirmation that it was actually on its way, I was going to cancel and just pick up the game at Target.
Right.
But they got the confirmation it was there. But the Target I went in West Seattle where I went to, they didn't have the game.
They didn't have the game?
No.
Whoa.
No, I mean, I couldn't even see a place where it would have been and was sold out. They just didn't have it. Which is super weird because usually when I go on Saturdays after Nintendo stuff releases on Fridays, they have a bunch of stuff. That's how a lot of times I've been able to pick up Amiibo because they'll have a shelf full of the brand new Amiibo there. But they didn't even have the Metroid Amiibo.
Those things have been sold out fucking everywhere, so I'm not surprised about that one.
Yeah, but even the stuff that was super sold out, they've had. They had
that's crazy.
The Skyward Sword Amiibo the day after it came out. Not a ton of them, but they're still there, is the thing.
Right.
And, of course, they're not going to be there for long, but either way. Yeah, I was kind of sad there, but yeah, I got the confirmation that it was actually going to be on Monday, and I couldn't get it, so I just had to wait.
Well, once you get it, you'll be very happy.
I'm sure I will be. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a long time since a brand new 2D Metroid, and I guess the only other thing I've heard is that this actually is kind of a conclusion to the story.
Yeah, they've been saying this like Metroid 5. This closes that whole arc that started with the original Metroid. So
I should say
Sorry, go ahead.
There's probably going to be more Metroids, but
I mean,
for whatever the start it from the original NES to this is one arc of Samus, and that's done. We know Prime 4 eventually will come out, and
someday,
and who knows? I've always tried to figure out if those even fit in the timeline, really.
I thought they were a separate arc. I thought they had said that.
Kind of.
I've never played them, so I don't know.
They could have. The only way they fit realistically into the main timeline is between Metroids 1 and 2.
Okay.
And they can. There's nothing that actually specifically states how much time has passed between 1 and 2. So there could have been this whole other thing that Samus went off and did.
Right.
But Nintendo has never really cared about connecting up the lore and timelines on their games.
Of any game. Yeah,
they
Zelda?
They regret the Zelda thing that they printed, which I have. Where it's but I mean, I guess kind of regret it, but then also being like, this thing is dumb. See how dumb it is if you try to theoretically hook up all these games into a timeline, and then there's branching timelines.
I just appreciate the Zelda series as here's a motif, we're gonna retell it, and again. That's cool. I like that. I don't need you to connect it. But I think some of them have. I mean, there's some arcs though, like Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Right?
And they continue the same character. They're very clear that this is a continuation of the same story. Majora's Mask to Ocarina of Time kind of thing. Like they just list them. They're like, no, this is direct sequels. Right. But Wind Waker is not a direct sequel to anything necessarily.
Right, exactly.
You could infer it could be a sequel to some of the others, but it's never directly connected.
I mean, how could it be if the idea is the new hero puts on the garb, right? Like the boys in our village, when they become of age, they wear this.
Yeah. I should say a direct sequel to connected to another game's world. Like Hyrule has been sunk in that one.
Right.
So does that connect up to a previous Zelda, where the legends come from?
Right. Well, in the Breath of the Wild, with the ruins of the Temple of Time or whatever it is, It's like, oh, a Temple of Time from some. Maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, there's stuff from a lot of the Zelda games in Breath of the Wild, just references here and there, and I think that's all they're supposed to be, is just references.
Right. Fun little Easter eggs.
Yeah. Metroid, though, does have a through line story going on.
Correct.
Yeah, it always has. I definitely remember the opening to Super Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very like, this is Metroid 3, and let's show you the events of Metroids 1 and 2. Like that recap thing that Dread does.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a through line. It's just taken us, 35 years to get here?
So the 5 is original Metroid, Metroid 2, Super Metroid Fusion, and then this one?
Yep.
Wow. Because there were other Metroids. The Zero Mission was a remake of 1, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
With some stuff added a little bit, but it's 1.
Yeah.
And then Other M isn't considered main thread. Primes. None of the primes are considered main thread.
And that's all the Metroids? Does that cover everyone? Besides, let's not forget Federation Force.
Oh, yeah. Federation Force is a thing that exists.
Oh, my God. People are so pissed when that happened.
Of course they are. I mean, that's just Nintendo. Like, we have an idea for a game. What property can we put on top of this? Which I've heard, actually, Nintendo approaches a lot of things in that way. Like, rarely is it specifically I've heard this about Miyamoto specifically, is really has ideas of like mechanics and things he wants to try, but not a story necessarily. The story comes later.
Yeah. It's like that Project Guard they attached to Star Fox Zero. Like, we want to try this out with the Wii U controller, but what property? Okay, Star Fox will make the worst possible game.
Yep.
Ever created for the Switch or for the Wii U. That's the only game I fucking returned. I beat it and returned it. It was that bad.
But
you can go back and find that podcast.
Lot. Trying to see. Okay. Pulling up releases here. Metroid in 1986, Metroid 2 in 91.
Wow, okay. Damn, 5 years later? Holy shit.
5 years. Super Metroid 94. Then we got Fusion in 2002. The same year that we got Metroid Prime, the first Metroid Prime.
Oh, wow.
Then there's a lot of Metroids. You had Metroid Zero Mission in 2004, along with Metroid Prime 2. There's a Metroid Prime Pinball.
Oh, I've heard of that.
But then there was also, in 2005, 2006, there was Prime Hunters, which I never played. I'm really sad I never played that one. And it's so hard.
Hard to get, right?
I think it is hard to get. I haven't checked used prices on it. It's probably hard to get. In 2007 was Prime 3 Corruption. Then they did the trilogy collection for the Wii in 2009. Yep. 2010 was Other M. And then Federation Force in 2016. Samus Returns in 2017.
Holy shit, that was 20. No fucking way.
Yeah.
No way was the 3DS game 2017.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep. And then Dread in 2021. So you could say, I mean, Samus Returns is a remake. Federation Force is a side thing. So really, and honestly, I don't think consider Other M part of the main franchise. So, yeah, Fusion 2002. It's been 19 years.
Oh my god, dude!
Since that, for continuation of this, supposedly Dread was something they were thought about putting out like 15 years ago. Like they had the idea for it, but they never made it.
Thrown it into Prime. There was a screen about the Metroid Dread program or whatever.
Yep.
Like an allusion to the game that they're working on, but he said that the tech was never there for him to put this game together. Yeah. I'm glad they found an external partner though that they trust enough to,
because they did the same studio that did the Samus Returns one.
Yeah. Mercury Steam. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's great. Like find a studio to give Star Fox to too that can fucking do it better. I don't know. Like this is fucking great so far.
Yeah, and I've heard that I mean, that's what Digital Foundry had said, was that they found Mercury Steam and they're like, this is the first Mercury Steam game that feels like it's gone from they make good games to this is a great game.
Yeah.
Like they've made it over that cliff to finally attain kind of what's always been there for them as a company, but they haven't had the resources maybe, or the push to make it truly happen.
Are they Spanish? Do you know?
Yes, Spanish.
Okay. Yeah, they fucking so far have been really good. Hope that means more 2D Metroids in the future. Obviously, we're gonna get Prime, but
this was the best-selling Metroid game in the UK. I saw that this morning.
We've already got numbers, huh?
For numbers from the UK, and it was the best first weekend ever for any Metroid game.
Well, that's really fucking good news.
It is good news. Also, I bet it's gonna sell really well.
Yeah, and there's also not much to buy on Switch right now, so it's just perfect, you know. I'm looking forward to having time one day to continue to play.
Yeah.
I have a game for you. This is from a friend of the podcast, Bill. He, a while ago, back on the 23rd of September, sent me a list of some indie games that were coming up that he wanted to highlight from. It was like an indie showcase that happened around that time. So he sent me a list of ones that he thought would be interesting to us. So I'm just going to read the title and the description. You tell me yay or nay if this is something that you're interested in checking out. The first one is called Potion Craft, which you may have heard of.
I have. Well, weirdly, I've seen a couple of people play it on Steam, friends of mine and dev, and I'm like, should I care about this game?
So you've seen the art style then, which looks like like picture booky, old time picture booky. Potion Craft is an alchemist simulator where you physically interact with your tools and ingredients to brew potions. You're in full control of the whole shop, invent new recipes, attract customers, and experiment to your heart's content. Just remember, the whole town is counting on you.
I am a yay.
Yeah, I'm a yay on that one. That sounds pretty cool. I haven't seen a potion simulator before. Next one is called Jupiter Moon's Mecha, with a emoji of a robot arm flexing its muscles. Choose your mech, customize your loadout, and build your perfect deck. Experiment with cards to find powerful combinations as you enjoy the tactical combat and deck building of this rogue-like adventure.
I played demo of this.
What'd you think of it?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's not Slay the Spire good, but theme-wise, I think the demo was a little rough. Like, I like the idea of what it's going for, but it wasn't, like I said, enough for, like, I'm going to go out and buy it. Was it just
no,
featured?
It said out when the next Jovian moon comes around or something like that.
Yeah, the demo was just early. That was the thing. It was like, I wish-listed, and I think I'm just waiting to see how it develops.
Right. Okay, so next one is called Sacred Fire. It is a role-playing game. Sacred Fire is a psychological role-playing game. You're a refugee hunted by Rome, your actions compromised by fear and rage. Build up your willpower to control story choices and master battle tactics. Outsmart opponents and gain allies, wage war or strive for peace. End up a hero or an outcast.
What? Okay, yeah. RPG-wise, is it 3D, like third-person RPG?
I'm seeing a lot of almost like visual novel.
Okay.
Looks like the battle takes place during a visual novel where there's just images of characters facing off, and then I think you make choices, and then like the next picture shows up. That's what it seems like. I don't know if there's enough of a description there to really get a handle on yay or nay on that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What's the name of it again?
Let me go back to my mail. It was Sacred Fire.
I seen this. Role-playing game on Steam. Oh, okay, so it's like 3D. I don't know. I'm questioning how much I would enjoy this or not.
Okay. Next one looks like an isometric game. It's called Serial Cleaners. Serial Cleaners is a single-player stealth action crime game in which you alternate between playing 4 eccentric mob cleaners taking on the bloodiest jobs of the carefree 90s. If you remember the 90s differently, their dirty work is the reason why.
No.
Okay, that is a thumbs down.
Not for
next. Me. Yeah. Next one's called The Bookwalker. You're a bookwalker, a thief with an ability to dive into books. All right, I'm already sold. You are forced to use your powers to track down and steal famous items like Thor's hammer and Excalibur for clients to regain your ability to write again. Holy shit! That description is made for me.
Yeah. It also made me realize the specific things that they mentioned there. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, you're going for public domain works.
Yes, exactly. Yes, totally. I was like, not Marvel's Thor, just the Thor.
Thor's hammer, Excalibur. Like, look at all these stories that are in the public domain that we can use. I salute you in your use of knowing how to walk that line.
Yep. There are like I don't know what the fuck it's called. What's the word? Dioramas, and then like 3D action, 3D environments. I mean, there's a demo, the Bookwalker demo. I will try to play this by next week because that looks mildly interesting to me. Bill says awesome concept, and I agree. Next one's called the Universe Sim, which is he calls an indie god game. Jump straight into managing your own planets as you guide a civilization through the ages. Build the ultimate empire in the Universe Sim, a new breed of god game in development by Crytivo. So it's just see a round planet and you're basically simming it up.
I'm looking at it on Steam now. Positive. It's an early access game.
It looks pretty.
It does. I like the style game. Colony Sim, City Builder. Positive review. I will wishlist this. I probably won't get it in early access, but
it's like someone looked at Astroneer and said, "What if we did Astroneer but built cities?"
Kind of. I look at them. Yeah.
That's a very simplified viewpoint. Talking.
Yeah, I mean, it has the same kind of like small planet curvature is seen pretty easily.
Yeah.
It does look pretty neat though.
It does
overall.
The next one looks fucking dope. What the fuck is this? Wow, this has already came out. Juggler's Tale.
A Juggler's Tale.
Juggler's Tale. Look at the first video. My God. That's it's like dark ass Paper Mario.
Like a marionette kind of puppet.
Lead Abby, the string puppet, through a bruised but beautiful fairy tale world in this cinematic adventure. Solve riddles, evade traps, and shake off pursuers on their way to find freedom. Can Abby take control of her fate with all the strings attached? Well, this looks fucking gorgeous.
It does. And it looks cool. It sounds interesting. Like they've done some cool stuff there. It came out, how many? 2 weeks ago almost?
Yeah.
It's only got 112 reviews, so it probably has less than 1,000 sales.
That sucks. Well, it's about to have another
2,000. Like this is such a sad place for so many indie games. And especially like story-driven stuff like this. Mm-hmm. It's just like, gets thrown out there. It looks cool. Just gets buried. I'm
buying this. I'm going to help him out. Dude, thanks, Bill. That one's a fucking winner. Next one is Anvil Saga, Cartoon 100 Years War. What the fuck? His notes are Cartoon 100 Years War, Blacksmith Sim. Okay, great, got it. It's a cartoonish 100 Years War, Blacksmith Simulator.
You're back. Okay.
Pixel art looks like.
Yep. Side scrolly pixel art.
Oh man, it kind of looks like SteamWorld Dig.
Management sim with RPG elements where you take control of blacksmith. So yeah, probably you have to get resources. There's a demo. It's not out yet. Will be out sometime this year, supposedly.
Cool.
Build up your forge. Yeah, that could be fun.
All right, that's a definite possibility. Next one is, what the fuck? Oh, his notes are just ... See it for yourself. All right, so this is Catizens. Catizens. Inspired by RimWorld and The Sims, Catizens is a colony management simulation game where you watch over unique cats with quirky personalities as you help them build and grow their settlement while exploring new lands, facing off against wildlife and overcoming the challenges of each environment. There's a cat with a sword and a shield. Holy shit.
I mean, they're trying to make a cute RimWorld, basically.
Yep. That is fucking interesting. Wow, I think my daughter would be interested in this.
Yeah, same. My daughter would be like, what the hell? This is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. This is the best game ever. Dad, why don't you make this game? Okay, next one is Terra Invicta, which is an Alt-Earth 4X. So you lost me at 4X. No offense. From the creators of Long War, an alien invasion has fractured humanity into 7 ideological factions, each with a unique vision for the future. Lead your chosen faction to take control of Earth's nations and expand across the solar system and battle enemy fleets in tactical combat. I'm already asleep.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. I have to be
You
in
might
a
like
very specific mood to play something like this, especially. I mean, they're going from the creators of Long War. Long War is a mod for XCOM, the newer XCOMs, which really does make it a long war. Like,
oh, good God.
like very, very long games. Not, and XCOM was already long to begin with, so we're talking like many times longer.
What if we
With
could make
way
this
more
game
upgrades
worse?
and like more, yeah, more things to manage. Like, yeah, and I'm looking at the screenshots and everything of Terra Invicta, and I'm pretty sure it would take me days to just get over the hump of actually learning the game and knowing what I was doing. So,
Yep. So that's
good to know about this type of game that I like sometimes, but I don't know if my life would handle it right now.
There's a new one, Organs Please, which he says is Paper Please, but with organs. A dark satirical management sim where you take control of a recycling factory with a twist. It recycles humans. Your job is to decide who gets to escape our dying planet in a cozy spaceship and who sacrifices their blood, sweat, and tears for humanity. Literally. Well, A for originality. Probably not for me.
No, I actually I don't really like the art style at all.
I don't either. It's really turning me off. It seems a lot more menu based also, which is not something that I find to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, moving on from that one. Thank you anyways. Next one is Forest Grove, the creepy mystery game. And then Forest Grove already starts with a bloody tree. It looks like a teenage heiress has gone missing. Foul play is suspected. Uncover a cast of characters, collect evidence, and find the truth in this futuristic detective game.
So it's a walking sim.
Yep.
Which is fine.
With some cool thought puzzles, but I don't know. Vaguely interested. Is that a lightsaber? That would be weird.
Yeah, vaguely interested. I don't
like the scaries, so maybe. Well, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Then he says, save the most fascinating visually for the last two. One is called Lost in Random. Oh, we've seen this one.
I've seen Lost in Random.
Shit.
That was in a PlayStation Direct.
It was, and it looked fucking awesome. I didn't realize it released already.
It had released on. Yeah, it was on. Yeah, the EA original. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have Dicey with you or whatever the hell it is.
Yep. It released.
Yep, I'm gonna need to check that one out. So Lost in Random sounds good. Last one is The Artful Escape. He says for your musician's soul. Let's see here if it will load. Okay, The Artful Escape. A teenage guitar prodigy. Okay, sold. Sets out on a psychedelic journey. Okay, less sold. To inspire his stage persona and confront the legacy of a dead folk legend. Starring the voice performances of Michael Johnson, Carolyn Kinley, Lena Headey. Yes. Jason Schwartzman, Mark Strong, and Carl Weathers. What the fuck?
It's Annapurna. That's why.
Okay, this one is number 2. Oh, you can customize your motherfucking guitar. I am all over this.
That makes sense, though, why it has good voice casting, though.
Yeah, I'm also buying this. Yeah, because Annapurna's got the money, Because this art style's cool. And you can shred on your fucking guitar.
You're like, sure, why not? Let's try it out.
Excited about this. Why play guitar when I can play playing guitar?
I mean, I feel like this. So this came out on September 9th. I feel like for Annapurna stuff, 12 minutes got all the hype.
Oh yeah.
And this kind of I didn't hear anything about it that much. I haven't heard much about Artful Escape. I'm looking at the other games. Last Stop, those two came out. I know Outer Wilds is out, and Outer Wilds just had DLC that I've heard is really good. That was kind of almost effectively a sequel as the DLC.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, they're I saw one review that was basically they hit a sequel to Outer Wilds in its DLC.
Oh damn!
So that's cool. So yeah,
listen to this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go.
Key features: a story about great expectations, towering legacies, aliens, folk music, guitar solos, making stuff up, and living your dreams like memories. Musical jams. They're visceral. They traverse dimensions. I Create your own stage persona from the sci-fi beginnings of your backstory to the trim on your moon boots. This is so up my alley. It's disgusting.
And it's out now.
And it's out now. I have no time for anything, but I'm buying Artful Escape, and I'm going to buy the puppet one. What was that one? The fuck was that? Ooh, what the fuck? I'm lost in... A Juggler's Tale.
Yeah.
I'm buying those two. I'm going to do it while we're podcasting, so I don't forget. Thank you, Bill, for that list. Yeah. That was quite interesting. Found a couple of games to purchase and play in my free time.
Yeah, I'm definitely finding like there's so many games coming out in indie stuff that I'm just like, I just don't have the time to actually like play all this stuff, and there's some just crazy cool indie things that you just don't get a chance to play.
Do you find that you are playing games for work more right now?
Yeah, work, and then if it's not specifically for work, it's little things here and there just to kind of bide my time a little bit. But like Dread's not for work, comes up, so like that will be will be something. But there's definitely like, all right, if I'm not playing that stuff, is there other things that I want to just put my time into as opposed to picking up another new game? Because
right.
I have plenty of games where I could still spend extra time.
Oh, I have a fuck ton of games that I have never even touched. Yeah. I'm just that digital fucking hoarder. I was talking to my friend Kardik about this. It's like a guitar simulator. That simulates different amps or whatever. That's on sale for $40. I was like, this thing has so many features. This is awesome. I'm gonna get this. And he's like, you just spent $300 on basically the same thing, but that has way more sounds. What are you doing? Oh yeah, I don't need to buy more stuff. I already have enough stuff. Well, thank you for stopping me. Well, as I'm buying 2 fucking games on Steam right now.
Yep.
What a moron.
You're just doing it to support the devs.
Well, Juggler's Tale for sure. You made me feel like they need to get some support. And this thing looks dope. What's the rating on this? It says similar to The Witcher and Portal. That's weird. Okay. Where is there a rating on here? Where are the ratings on Steam? Like teen or whatever. Do they even do that on Steam?
Which one are you looking for?
I'm on Juggler's Tale.
It may not have been rated. Because to be on Steam, you don't have to get an ESRB rating.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean, normally it would be on, if they had one, it would be on the side.
Yeah, I don't see one.
Info panel.
Okay, cool. So I'll just add that to my cart, and I'll let you know eventually how it's related to The Witcher 3.
Yeah.
Weird. And then the guitar, what was it? Artful Escape? Fuck yeah.
Well, supposedly it's on PlayStation and Switch. Juggler out.
Oh, really?
Supposedly.
If it's on Switch, it's got to have a rating then.
I'm looking at A Juggler's Tale out now. Epic, Steam, GG, PlayStation, Xbox.
Switch has got to have a rating. Yep, Juggler's Tale Switch. All right, give me the rating. It is rated E10+, baby. Woo!
There you go.
All right. Probably still going to buy it on Steam. Although, buying it on Switch maybe is a good idea. No, I'm going to buy it on Steam. And then Artful Escape. Cool. Awesome. PayPal. Yep, folks, I am doing this. You are listening to me buy games right now.
There you go.
Live vicariously through me. Cool. I haven't played anything else this week besides Rocket League. So, and it's done. I already bought.
There you go.
Yep,
the only thing I've continued to play this week, because Dread didn't show it, was Genshin. So I've actually finished the whatever stories there now. And I will say the story only gets better. Like each area you go to, it's gotten better. And the story from the last region that they have in the game, Inazuma, which is fictional Japan, is really good. Actually got me very intrigued to see where the story's going to go at this point, because it took some turns.
And they're adding more stuff to it.
Yep.
Obviously.
There's another patch this week that adds a whole new island to Inazuma, and they've hinted that from the end of the story currently that it's going to fantasy.
Yes, tell me more.
India?
Fantasy. Oh. Interesting.
Like, because each zone is basically a fantasy version of some culture, basically. So it started kind of, I think, I can't pinpoint it. I thought it was fantasy like France to start, but it's not France. It's like Denmark. It's all windmills and everything, and then you go to fantasy China, and now you're in fantasy Japan. But there's gonna be there are different nations, and the story is that there are 7 nations to the 7 different gods of the world. And you're starting to piece together that like there's some fucked up stuff with these gods going on. So it's getting intriguing in that way.
That's cool.
So it's a fun thing. It's just huge. There's so much to do. And still a quality bar that I'm just like, my God, how are you hitting this quality bar consistently? And making just a good game for a free to play audience.
That's pretty cool, man.
And it totally scratches my itch for just RPG play of being like, upgrade stats, upgrade items, get stronger. So, oh boy, I know that stuff gets me, and yep, totally down that rabbit hole on that. But I'll have Dread tomorrow. I can continue to play that, which will likely finish, and I'll be able to, and then I'll probably play Genshin until I don't know what comes out.
Yeah, I'm kind of lost on the fall cadence. I know Mario Party's got a new one coming out, but like the heavy hitters for like PlayStation, gun to my head, I couldn't name a single one right now. Can you? Like not I'm not talking about like the normal like COD kind of shit, but like what am I missing? Is something coming out this fall for Sony?
I don't think so, actually. I think their big stuff is in the spring.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where Horizon is landing.
I mean, I guess they don't need big ones to sell consoles because they don't have consoles to sell. So,
yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything listed that I might be forgetting. It's coming out. Yeah, everything's March, early 2022. That's 2020. Yeah, no, I don't think there's any like first-person Sony stuff coming out big this year. Like they all got moved. You can imagine Horizon was originally supposed to be.
Yeah,
but that got shifted. Yeah. So it's like they have Gran Turismo 7, Horizon. Did they date God of War?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
unless I'm misremembering. No, I don't remember them dating at all.
So I think they have like some big games coming out beginning in Q1 next year, but not for the holiday. They're just relying on third-party stuff for the most part. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, a lot of companies don't have a huge amount coming out November, December right now. Like the 3 big players. I mean, Microsoft has Halo. Finally.
Yeah, well, isn't it just multiplayer?
Yeah, you're right.
It's not even the campaign. Which is fine. The multiplayer is fucking great on that game, so cool with people who like that. Not me so much. I played actually quite a bit of Halo 5 multiplayer, more than I thought I would, but
yeah, I'm looking. That's Nintendo. Nintendo has some Pokemons coming out in November. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, those remakes.
Yeah, the remakes.
They have Shin Megami Tensei 5, November 12th.
That's a big deal for some people.
Yeah, it was a big deal for me. And I was like, oh, I'll get that. But then Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker is a week later. And I'm going to totally just dive into that and get through that story. Oh, yeah, we have Advance Wars reboot in December, 1 and 2.
That's true.
Halo Infinite is there.
December 10th or something like that.
Yep, December 8th. But yeah, beyond that, no. Like, Sony doesn't have any first-party stuff coming out at this point.
Just relying on the 30% cut on the third-party stuff, I guess.
Yeah, and being like, hey, you can't get consoles anyway, as you said. So
yeah, fuck it. Although Travis just got one, he like bumblefucked his way into getting a fucking another disc-based PS5, and he was like, "Does anyone want this?" Kartik was like super interested in getting a PS5 like all year, but now he has a new job, and he's like, "I don't have fucking time for this." So that was a no. So I think Travis now has 2. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell anyone what to do with their money because I spend money on fucking shit all the time. I was like, you have like a small apartment. How far away are you from your first PS5, man?
I gotta find. I'm sure there has to be someone who.
I mean, I think if he looked hard enough. You know what? No, that was the previous one. This had happened like 4 months ago too. Jesus Christ, how does he keep fucking getting into this shit?
I mean,
but
I'll be honest. There's been a couple times where I could have bought another one.
Oh, really? Okay.
I have been at the screen where I could have hit the button and purchased it, but why? I don't. Everyone who's asked me is like that. I have asked. They all have one or don't want one right now. So I was like, okay, I don't need to buy anymore.
Yeah. Well, if you're in a situation where you find an OLED and you're not interested in buying one for yourself, I think I probably will.
There you go.
I think I will. So if you happen to see one, I'll pay you back immediately. But anyway, or anyone else, anyone listening, if you find this OLED Switch, just buy it for me. I'll pay you back. Truly.
Okay.
Anyway, that was episode 309 of Prof and Dev Play Games. Thanks for listening. If you liked us, tell a friend, rate us on your podcast service of choice. If you didn't like us, don't tell a friend and don't rate us on podcast service of choice. But man, it's been 309 episodes. If you're still listening, you like us in some small way.
That's true. Good on you.
Can't say with this.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for enduring. Man, seriously, going back and listening to this podcast one day is just gonna be like a chronicle of the pandemic for us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's just archived forever at this moment.
I do think about that in terms of my daughter. Like one day if I died tomorrow, like I have like journals and things that she could read or whatever, but like there's this fucking podcast where we talk about video games.
Yep.
Stay in school.
Yes.
Don't do drugs. Don't get pregnant early.
Can you really say don't do drugs?
I can say that.
They don't need to know anything, right?
I literally said it.
Yeah.
And those are the words I said. And be cool.
Yeah.
Wow, such fatherly advice. Listen to that Dave Grohl song I wrote you, because that was about you.
There you go.
There you go. That's it. Anyway, enough about talking to my daughter. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week.
All right. Later, everyone.